friend. I'm joined by the one and only, a staple to the Call of Duty Sea 20-time champion, 2-time world champion, the one and only Patty P, a.k.a. Aches. What's going on, Pat?
What's going on, Tom? Just, today was a great day, Tom. It was a great day for me. I had a blast today, man. It was just a good-ass Tuesday.
Pat, what did you do today, bro? What did you do today? Be honest with me.
Come on, Tom. You can't get me in trouble. You know I can't disclose that information.
Yeah. I forgot. My bad.
I had a great day. The good things happening all around. So yeah, good Tuesday for me. How about you?
Yeah. Hey, pretty good. I've been streaming all fucking day. I had a couple meetings in the morning. Got some cool stuff planned. Obviously, gonna keep everybody up to date with that soon. And the merch just ended, so we had to close that out. The merch did really well, so shout out to everybody in the chat for showing love. You guys went absolutely crazy on a drop. And nothing, man. Just been grinding all day. Just on the stream grind, man. You know me. Content is life these fucking days. You know,
not grinding like these two guys, though.
No, definitely not these two guys. We got two special guests, ladies and gentlemen. We got the one and only Eric Snipe down in here. And then we got the coach from FaZe Clan over at Halo. We got Mr. Towie. So two FaZe Clan very own. How you guys doing, man? Let's get a FaZe up in the chat real quick. We got a few FaZe members in here. Show some love. Come on, baby. We got a golden lineup. How you guys doing, man? How the scrims go today? I know I asked. We had some technical difficulties. We had to restart the show. But we're good now.
Now we'll talk about it again. Yeah, no. Scrims went well. Learned a lot for sure. Got to keep going over some theater. We leave for Anaheim tomorrow. I think my flight's like 2 o'clock or something like that. So gonna try and get some final reps in before we head out and show up at the event. Put in our work.
Hell yeah, man. Towie, how you guys feeling going into the event? You guys feeling good? I'm super jealous that you guys are going to Anaheim. I'm not gonna lie, because I would love to have I would love to have an Anaheim COD event again and get everybody back at the Hilton bar and have a good fucking time.
Legendary.
It's a legendary bar.
Can we
Legendary
talk about,
Sunday night spot.
The bar is a good hangout spot, but let's not act like the bar doesn't have the worst service of all time.
Ever.
Okay,
Every
but
bar
wait, hold on.
Terrible. They're always understaffed.
Yeah, think about it though. When there's fucking 150 gamers trying to get a drink, dude. I mean, eventually you gotta feel for them a little bit. I feel like no matter what bar we're at, there's gonna be problems. But
the Marriott across the street's also got a nicer bar, but that's neither here nor there.
Nah, the Marriott. Nobody goes to the Marriott. Nobody goes there.
Gotta go to the Hilton.
We got a little special guest, a little doggy.
Celebrity.
Who's that?
Hey, his name's Chief.
Oh, we got a little Chief. Oh, yes, Chief. Sir. Does that have to do with Halo in any way?
I mean, I guess a little bit. If we get a female dog, it's gonna be Cortana. So.
That's lit. That's awesome. Oh, he's got a little underbite like Gizmo. Yeah. We got a dog we ate too, Gizmo. He's got an underbite just like that. That's comedy. That's hilarious. Well, that's awesome, man. You guys are going to Anaheim. You guys are getting ready to play. Speaking about Anaheim and some of the competition, dude. I mean, I saw that CLOUD9 has been fucking piecing up the last few weeks. They've
been pretty unstoppable.
They've been unstoppable, but nobody's unstoppable at the end of the day. I mean, anything could happen at an event. But you guys have been playing like 2Ks and 5Ks and stuff, right? I've been trying the best I can to keep up with the Halo scene, but it's obviously tough now, right? We have so much stuff going on because we got COD going on and Halo going on, and I'm addicted to Valorant, which also doesn't help. But CLOUD9, what is it with these guys, man? Like, what is it that these guys are just so dominant right now?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I feel like they've always had a lot of teamwork. Those guys have been playing together for a while, but they just came out in this game and they just it's just that natural like flow that they have that works out together. They all have that same like scrappy play style, just and they make the most individual plays out of any other team. They just they really trust themselves to clutch up, and I think it's something that maybe some teams can take advantage of, but it just feels like there's always this constant pressure on you, and they're definitely just ahead of the game right now.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. I feel like it's like the same in COD almost. Like a lot of the people, a lot of the top teams are just kind of like the pacing, right? They're just like ahead of the pace. They're really aggressive. It's hard to deal with them.
Exact same thing. It's the speed. I mean, they're very fast. They make decisions fast as a team, and collectively they all have high skill.
So another question for me is Royal2 obviously just got unsuspended, whatever we'll call it. How is Sentinels looking? How has that transition been? If you guys played them recently, and now they don't have formal.
Yeah, we scrimmed them. I've always kind of gone back and forth with scrims versus them. Like one night, they're just a team that can beat anybody. They can lose some scrims to teams as well. Like it's just they're a great team. They've been teaming together for longer than I think any other Halo team has ever had a team fully together. And with Royal2 back, it definitely is just like their natural flow is back in store. And Royal2 really he's always been like my biggest annoyance of a player to play against because he's like the polar opposite of how I play, and it's the same with like my team. Like he's always the anchor cleaning up the big kills when like when they're like front lines when their front line goes down. He's always in the back like getting all the kills, and he's always had like the best stats. And he's a rock star. You know, he's got one of the best shots. Always has, and they're definitely a fierce team and going to be a threat at the tournament for sure.
What happened with Royal 2 and the whole banning thing? I honestly didn't understand it that much. Like I didn't get it. Like, can you explain it to me a little bit?
Way better than me, Eric, for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely explain it. Yeah, so like like those like I don't know if this is the case, but you know how like those like net Duma routers allow you to like geo filter and basically pick what like ping that you like want to play on. And if you don't want to play over a certain ping, you can like block all those from the list. That's basically what he did, and he's from like Saskatchewan, Canada, and so it was like pretty brutal playing against their team and pretty much for an entire tournament as well as the tournament before and all the scrims leading up to the last one before the rally tournament, which was the seeding tournament. It was noticeable that their team was playing on like Halo works is like the servers always it picks the middle of where the areas is, so it's like if you have all Florida, all Cali, it's a Texas server or like a like a Chicago server or something like that. But for him, it was always a Seattle server every time, and it made no sense with where the lobby was. So people had heard about this like filtering thing. I had heard a couple people talk about it, and like it was more of a matchmaking thing,
right?
And so it's just like up in the air. It's like, okay, is this happening? And I went back with a couple other people, and we looked at VODs, and it was like 2 weeks straight of just the same server every time, and it was a pretty glaring issue. And honestly, like it's not that big of a deal, but like it's an integrity issue, and it is a big deal just because of like it was a seeding tournament, and
that's definitely a big deal. That's definitely
a big deal.
It's definitely a big deal.
Yeah.
Eric, I feel like
it wasn't like pro league, and it wasn't like anything like so crazy to where it was like substantial advantage, but it was still enough to be like, we need to set the precedent now before this gets out of hand in future pro leagues and things like that. So
from my understanding, right, he modified parts of the in-game files, correct?
Yeah, so you can go to like, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Like the Microsoft Azure has all their servers public of like what servers are which, and so he just went in and blocked whichever ones were over X ping. So
and at the end of the day, I mean, when you guys compete, you sign and say you're going to follow a handbook, and if the handbook says, hey, you can't modify game files,
that's right. Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Pretty much, yeah. And like these orgs that are partnered are definitely held to like a higher standard. And to be completely honest, the punishment was rather light in comparison to what you'd see from other esports.
Right.
Like, I mean, you see that from
a Riot game or a Valve game.
He's gone. Like he's done for the year.
I think I brought that up when we had Elamite on, kind of talking about the punishment comparison of like how light HCS actually was. And Eric, I think me and you share a similar perspective. Towie, probably you as well. But what was the community, like the pro community? What was their overall kind of perspective on this? Because I don't think that we got enough of that. So like that was probably a behind the scenes conversation. But if you kind of had to gauge, what was it mixed? Was everyone like, that's fucked up? Like what was the?
No, everyone was on board. We actually had like a group chat pretty much right away with all the top teams that were suspecting of it, and putting together like the footage and the clips of everyone's like, ideas of why we feel like this is the case. Because this is the first Halo where they allow you to showcase the ping on screen. So it was very like the evidence was all right there, and it's like no one wants to come out and publicly say they're cheating before we give that information over to 343. So like I was trying to be the mediator and was like, listen guys, we need to just hand this over to the right people, because if this does come out and we're wrong about this situation, then we all look terrible, like accusing one of the most accomplished players of all time to be cheating. So it's like we need to handle this the right way. I think the biggest thing was just the way that they reacted to the whole situation. Like if like bro, like his response to it saying, oh, I didn't know I did it, or I didn't know I still had it on. It's like, yes, you did. There's, in my opinion, there's no way you don't know you still have it on. Like there's no, and that was
it's also his teammates' responses prior.
Yeah, so you had like Frosty was like defending him, and like if I'm his team and if he's telling me he didn't do it, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna vibe with my teammate who I've been like, I'm ride or die. Like I'm gonna say no, there's no way he did it either. And when he finally came out and said he did it, it's like, bro, like you kept your teammates in the dark this whole time. Like if I was his teammate, I would have been pissed. I would have been livid of the whole situation and been like, bro, if you did it, like why did you not just say it right away? Why did you let us like crash and burn with you on this whole thing? Like even his brother like ended up getting fined over some of the stuff that he was saying. And it's like, if it was there the whole time, like you got to just come clean like right away and be like, yeah, I fucked up.
Is that what happened? He came clean, or how did it get out?
Well, he did
eventually,
like,
right?
He publicly made
clean.
after after HCS came out and said that like he's guilty pretty much, he came out with his like own statement and said like, yeah, I blocked servers and I accidentally left it on and didn't know I left it on. And it's like that was like basically like his like that was what he put out to the public. And I'm just thinking like that doesn't really sound like much accountability to me.
Right. I mean, you could argue it was just to like try to move past the whole situation at that point.
Right.
Yeah, I think I had talked to somebody. Was that like, well, this is obviously just speculating, but maybe that was a part of like his suspension was like he had to make a public statement saying like he did it. But I think he like you said, he kind of took that route where he didn't really take accountability, but he just admitted that happened.
Yeah, and then it was just like it was kind of played off as like a joke after that. You know, like we got like Royal2 merge of like him being like router 2 and all this other stuff. And I'm just thinking like, bro, like this was not a joke. Like you cost your team a full tournament from this situation. Like you can like play it off as a joke and whatnot, but it's just like you can't. You're held to too high of a standard for it to seem like this wasn't a big deal. Like this was the biggest deal that Halo Esports has had in terms of like a cheating accusation. So
yeah,
it was definitely serious.
It's weird that they do it like that too with the servers, because in COD it's way different. In COD, when we were competing, they'd have us test certain servers or veto certain servers. It was like a server veto system, no Ben, and they would give us like 3 servers. We tested all 3, then we would veto one, the other team would veto one, and then you get whatever.
That's kinda sick.
You get whatever servers in the middle.
Well, they were strict about it because of there has just been prominent host fucking for a decade in Call of Duty. So I don't know if you guys have had that big of issues. What?
I said nobody wanted to play on your host back in the day.
Yeah, I mean I couldn't do anything about it. It's just where I live.
The triple West Coast, like.
But yeah.
Anyway,
anyway,
examples right there.
Enough about Royal2 and enough about what happened. Talk to us about the game. I've been seeing a lot on Twitter. And obviously we don't want to talk bad about Halo, but what's going on? I feel like there's not been enough updates. Ranked play hasn't really had updates. How do you guys feel? I mean, obviously you're still grinding and playing, custom match and grinding like that, but what about the game? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like talk bad about Halo because the game itself is really well done.
Yeah.
But it does feel unfinished. It feels like it was released early because of how long it was pushed back. They announced that there was going to be the big tournament in December, and it was like, okay, like we kind of like this is our deadline now. They had already released or pushed it back, and then they were like making guarantees of when it is going to come out again. And they released the game with no Forge. They released the game without like a custom game filter. Yeah. Like there's
Forge mode would be dope if they got Forge mode in there.
These are, in my opinion, like you can't release a game and then release like massive updates like 6 months or a year down the road, because people are gonna play a game and they're gonna make their opinions the first time they play the game, and that's gonna decide whether they stick to that game or they go somewhere else. And no one really wants to come back to a game 6 to 12 months down the road when they're like, oh, now we have a complete game, which is what it feels like is going to happen. And unless something crazy like a battle royale comes out where that in itself is like a completely different game and it would like collide with Halo itself, like that, in my opinion, with a Forge world is like the only way for Halo to see that viewer base, or not just the viewer base, but like the users jump back up, because we saw where it was the first month.
Oh, it was
and now it's like
it skyrocketed after when it first came out, Eric. It was crazy.
Nosedived right
coming
after,
out on a surprise too, like unannounced. It's out, it's free, everyone can play it all of a sudden.
And your guys' event was nuts. You had 250K viewers.
The event was sick. It was sick.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys will get. I think the viewers will shoot back up when you guys get to some series tournaments and there's a lot on the line and you got some good matches. There'll definitely be some viewers in there. I think people will come back.
That's the benefit Halo has,
down a little bit.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're paying attention or not. There's nothing like watching Halo. Like just watching competitive Halo at the highest level is just some of the sickest like esport you can watch. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's
so
relatable
with that.
to people.
It is. It's like it's the live events are so fun to watch because you feel the intensity, you feel like all of that. But watching ranked gameplay, it just feels stale and boring, and there's no like, it's too repetitive for people to really like get behind, because it feels like it's the same thing every game. You're just like running around getting kills, and like there's no structure to it. There's no like intensity with the call outs. Like scrims are fun to watch, but the game itself just doesn't have that retention, I feel like, from a viewer base, unlike a lot of like Warzone and Apex and those, because it's something new every game. Like it's a fresh restart, everything's different, so it's like, and there's more time to like engage with the viewer base, whereas in COD, like imagine playing like ranked play in COD, you're not able to look at your chat and talk to your chat. Like it's non-stop all the time. Like there's not as much
Well, we don't
Like,
even got
I
ranked play,
can't-
Eric. We still waiting for hours. You know, we
6
haven't
more
got
days, I
anything.
think. 6
I
more
thought
days.
Todd
Today.
had that.
They dropping
I
it
thought
on
that was 6
Yeah,
more days.
Valentine's
rank play
Day.
soon though.
Rank
Nice.
play soon, but they dropping it on Valentine's Day. You know, I don't know why they dropping it on Valentine's Day. You know, what are you gonna know?
They
At
want
least-
you to love rank play.
At least we
They
get
do.
it. At least we get it. And that's the thing too, is we've gone rank play too sometimes, Tally and Eric, where we get it and it's shit, and we're like, what the hell is this? And
Oh,
then,
bro.
you know,
Wait,
so
hold on,
I'm-
hold
that about Halo
Listen,
too.
that's happened more often than not. It's been shit a lot.
Yeah.
Like World War II was the
World War
only.
II was the
or-
best one, right?
Yeah, it was the only time we had an actual elo system, and we're kind
I
of still
remember
hoping
so
that this
good. I remember
this
grinding
Valentine's
that.
one.
Yeah,
it was
World
fun.
War II was super fun.
great.
Yeah.
And we're hoping the new one will have kind of the same aspect. We don't know yet, but rumored it does.
What is
we'll
the
see.
deal with that? Like how does it go every year where that's the like one of the biggest complaints is no ranked play on launch to it's still
I can't
like
even
is that just a
fathom that.
different
developer
studios?
thing or even still like how
Yeah,
is that not
it makes
something
no
that's like
sense.
taken
There's
like,
not
wow, the
enough
community's been asking
communication
for this for
between.
6 years.
We
And it's
basically
just-
go
I don't
from
know, it's
3-4-3 to 3-5-3 to 3-5-6 or 3-6-3 and then back. We just have they're not on the same
Well,
page
to,
at all.
to-
They
to
never
be
have
fair though, I don't even know if it's communication or them just like some developers just not giving a single fuck. Like it's just not priority
I
to
feel
them.
like that's
Well, there's
definitely
just at
more
the end
so
of the
case.
day,
If they
there's-
care, they do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
there's
Oh,
so many
absolutely.
factors. There's so many factors that they have to take into account to like make a game within the time frame that they have, and maybe there just isn't time for certain things, and that's a total cop out when it comes to rank play because I think that should obviously be in every game.
But they're on 3-year cycles.
Right.
Right.
It's hard to find a good excuse why
It
there
is.
wouldn't be rank play in a game.
It is.
Are you guys involved in any feedback pipelines in Halo? That's something I've never really been aware of, and how that kind
Yeah.
of works on your
We
guys'
gotta
end.
touch
Yeah,
on
for
that.
sure.
We just got sent a like not only a map feedback program, but we got a weapon feedback and like the equipment, grenades, weapons, and all that. And they sent it out to all the professionals. And then they
Nice.
started off with all that, like the sandbox stuff, and then now we're talking about the maps. And I'm assuming if they're talking about the maps, and they have some other maps that they might like be coming out with hopefully soon.
That's sick.
To try and put in the rotation for something that's like overwhelmingly negative, like Bazaar, for example. I feel like that's a map that a lot of people are not enjoying.
What about nade tracking? Did y'all vote to get that the fuck out? 'Cause I hate
Nades
it.
are pretty
personally.
bad.
Yeah, the nade tracking is so weird. It's such a weird system to see like a grenade in a room and you're right next to the grenade, like you're throwing the grenade and then an enemy's in front of you and you take no damage and the enemy is all of a sudden like one shot. It's just so strange. I've never seen that before in Halo. That wasn't one of my biggest ones. I actually talked about the grenade hit markers. Like there's no cues on the hit markers, like it doesn't show you the hit markers, but there's so much audio hit markers that it's obvious. You can tell when you're hitting 1, 2, 3 people with grenades. And that was one of the biggest complaints that we had going into this game was like I feel like hit markers on grenades are it's newbie in my opinion. Like that's information you should not have. If you're throwing a blind grenade and you just hear this like giant Spartan grunt when they get tickled by a grenade and it's like, oh well, there's someone there like that. So like instead of hit markers we have audio hit markers pretty much.
Yeah.
You would have hated Black Ops 2
I talked about that.
EMPs
Yeah, I
before
was gonna
before they
say.
got nerfed. You would have hated them, bro.
They were like that.
They were like 30 meters through walls, and you would get a hit marker. It was absurd.
Just like
it
free
even
info.
told you. It even told you on your screen, right? How many people you hit. Or am I thinking of another game?
You're thinking of stuns. No, you're thinking of stuns.
I'm thinking of
Stuns did
stuns. Yeah, and it would literally
Oh.
pop up like on your screen how many people you hit with your stun or with whatever.
It was broken.
It was definitely
Oh,
broken.
what?
Yeah,
No, that's actually
it was
pretty busted,
fugazi. It was fugazi. But Eric, you were talking about a little bit about playing in COD back in the day, now Halo and Apex. Bro, you're all over the place. What's it like bouncing around from all these games? I saw you in an Apex tournament the other day. Or you were doing something with Nicola, with Nick Merckx. Weren't you doing something with him?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
No,
what was
we're,
that all about? Because that's sick.
It's gonna be a fun time actually. So after I left TSM Apex to go back to Halo,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, like I still want to be able to play in these content creator tournaments, and I know the scheduling is most likely gonna be. I checked the scheduling before, and the scheduling actually works out perfectly for me.
Oh.
But I know I'm not able to fully commit to like a pro league and to the big time tournaments. Maybe
Yeah.
I can like substitute for a roster if something's not going right in the end, because they know they can just like find good quality teammate in me.
Yeah.
But no, Nick said he wanted to compete, and he's been grinding. He found this kid named Deeds. He's like a 17-year-old stud in the ranked play when he was doing his grind to try and get the Predator Masters. And he was like just looking for someone to run challengers with. I was like, well, this is like perfect time to play with Nick. I hadn't really played with him much. We're on the FaZe roster. People can hype that up and maybe
yeah.
like, oh, FaZe Apex, even though that's not necessarily the case. Like we're not actually a FaZe Apex team.
Yeah.
But he wants to go hard, and I'm excited to play and grind with them, and hopefully make it into pro league and
Yeah,
with some
because
nice.
he's
That'd be
another
sick.
one, dude. Nick is another one he's been going so hard in Apex. Like I tune into
so
his
hard,
Apex
yeah.
streams all the time, and
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I just like how competitive he is. You know, he always wants to find that next game that could just like he can deep dive into it because he's a competitor at the end of the day. I could tell when I watch him
100%,
play.
he is big time.
You know, and you were nasty at Apex, weren't you? You were like you were not the guy to toot your own horn here, Eric. You know, but you were an animal at that shit, weren't you?
Best controller player in the world.
Yeah, dude.
No,
That was
I for a while, I felt like I felt like I had the best individual play, like in terms. I didn't, dude. Shot. It's the same thing that people talk about COD. Is like you might not have the best shot in the game, but if you can position yourself properly, like you just win. You just win games. You win fights. You win games, and that's how it worked. And I feel like just from all my years of experience, like that's just kind of what it's like in Apex. It's just constantly individually outplaying your opponents.
yeah.
And then using the teamwork you can with the abilities or whatever. But no, man, I love that game. I truly believe Apex is the best game on the market right now. I was playing with Formal last night. He's never played. He really never played before. He's like level 10 or something, and he was loving it. A lot of Halo players play Apex. It's a great game.
What is it about Apex that makes it so good? Like what? Because I know just another question on top of that. What's better on it, mouse and keyboard or controller? Or it doesn't really matter.
Mouse and keyboard's better on Apex for sure. It's just more compatible. The game just has more options. You can like style on your opponents harder.
Yeah, like the movement, right?
Controllers yeah, for sure. The movement big time. Like even like getting into your inventory, dropping stuff, like looting, like it's just all around definitely better. The only thing that controller has is close range combat. Like that's literally it.
Yeah.
I think they showed like a list of like the top 10 kill leaders, and there's a lot of great controller players. And I think there was one controller player on the top 10 list of kills for like the last season. So like they're good, but they're not able to do as much. So when there are top controller players, it's that much more impressive, I feel like.
Yeah, dude. You know where I always see people with like crazy movement Apex highlights? TikTok. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok at all.
Yeah.
But I have so much Apex on my TikTok. It's crazy. People always doing crazy shit. A lot of Tfue too. Tfue's been grinding Apex. He's another one.
He's nasty too, man. Yeah, both him and Nick, like they got better quick. I mean, they're both great at games. I mean, it's the same with Cloakzy. When Cloakzy started playing Apex too, it was like he could be a stud at this game if he put in the time.
Yeah.
I
hop into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, not to change subjects on you guys, but Tally, I actually had a question for you.
Yeah.
So obviously, we worked together back in EG in 2018 with Call of Duty. You did it in 2019, and this is kind of your first return to coaching Halo in a long time. So I kind of wanted to ask you what that transition's been like for you. I know you joined the team right before Raleigh. How's that transition been for you as just a person and getting back into coaching, and what's that look like for you?
I mean, I should say I retired a while ago, and I never thought I would go back to coaching again. I mean, I had certainly felt at least like I had hit the ceiling that there was in Halo at the time, and I'd worked my way up at EG, and obviously we had the house, and from there I worked up as a general manager at EG for a number of years, and it's just been a process. I mean, we didn't know that the game got delayed, so that changed my plans. I wasn't really going to be involved with Halo Infinite at the time, and it was just purely a timing thing, and with where I was in life right now, and all of a sudden there was an opportunity to potentially work with them again, and it's like riding a bike. I mean, it'd be like you starting to compete again. I mean, it's as easy as that. So when I have like 10 or 11 years experience coaching, it's something I really couldn't say no to, and especially with the guys on our team. I mean, it's a really good team.
Yeah, it's a great team. It is a good team to be a part of. Great team, great brand, dude. I'm excited for you. I feel like it kind of gets you back into that competitive mindset a little bit. It
really does, man. It's something you kind of take it for granted when you're not involved or when you stop competing. You know what I mean? But getting something I told Eric like a couple weeks into like being on the team. It's like, dude, I just want to win again. It's like you want to like you're want
hungry
to try. Yeah, you're competitive for it all again.
And I feel you guys are right on that cusp, right? Like you're
100%.
We've been getting better for sure. We've been getting better. And Halo's, and I said this in another thing that we did like a week or two ago, but Halo coaching is different than other games. I mean, especially it has a lot of similarities to Call of Duty, obviously, and a lot of similarities with like a Counter-Strike coach or a Valorant coach, but that's all in terms of preparation. In Halo, you're actually like on stage and making decisions.
I was going to ask you that. Are you on stage?
They're trusting me with their lives, and I'm making decisions, and it's really in terms of equality, like a fifth member on the map.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So you're making decisions that are affecting the outcome, and having a good coach is really vital to any team in Halo.
I kind of like that.
I actually think Call of Duty got rid of coaches for that reason because of how much impact they were actually having. Yeah, like
was it a lot? Like I never really knew in COD because like you played during that time period when it was like you had coaches behind him or Mixer X. I think it was just constantly always there.
So our problem was kind of less because you guys have to track so much more, and as a coach, you have to do so much more in Halo. But what we noticed a lot was coaches were starting to compensate for bad communication from players, right? Like, let's say you had X player on your team who just wasn't a good communicator, then the coach would basically just sit behind them and like call out for them. That was actually a problem. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it was to the effect that that obviously Halo has, but yeah, I don't know why Call of Duty necessarily got rid of it, but I fully believe it was just because they were just having too much impact.
I mean, it makes sense. A perfect example is like Optic, right? This past weekend, how they kept single pushing. Imagine if Ray was on stage with them at the end of that game. He would tell everybody, calm down, group together, do what you got to do. Like he would have saw it coming because he's not playing. I feel like when you're playing, it's like a whole different skill to have composure. You know, it's kind of like
that's the thing too. It's and you guys both know this now after having retired and watched Call of Duty. It's just it's such a different feeling having to sit and watch gameplay and have absolutely zero control, and you're like so much more nervous watching when you care about the outcome than when you're actually involved. And I'm like, if I'm actually on stage and I'm in the middle of a game, it's like you're 100% comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you'd have someone like Ray on stage for Optic to like slow it down, make smart decisions, try to direct traffic, like. You know, it cleans up everything.
Isn't it crazy how that works, Towie? Like when you're watching, you get so anxious.
So much more anxious.
Bro, when I play, you don't even feel it.
You don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it, right?
You feel the first 15 seconds of like the final starting, but once the game starts, it's like it's over. You know,
I'll watch like an intense series, and by the end of the series, my heart rate's like 150, just pounding, like watching the final few seconds. Dude.
It's crazy.
I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to play right after this because I'm just hyped up.
It's just weird because. Go ahead, Ben. You can go.
I would say, like, I think if you talk to coaches in the league, they'll say, like, one, it's obviously like watching a slow motion car crash. You can't really do anything.
Oh, for sure.
And second, like, it puts then a lot of pressure on this pieces of time where you can talk to your players in between those maps. Like, let's say you have a tough map 1, like, being able to reset your team before that map 2 S&D is really key.
Yeah.
Or let's say you go down 0-2, like that team talk you give to start the reverse sweep, like a lot of importance to sort of get your guys in line before that map.
I would love to get some cameras on some of those team talks in between maps. You know, like they should start showing that on stream. Like, what are they talking about? Like going into the map. I mean, I'm sure teams don't want that released.
Well, I don't think you could do that because then the other team would hear that coming out over.
I'm just saying, like I've seen it after the match. Like content after the match is done. Like if you could pull some content from it, we've seen it in sports. I've seen it in football or soccer.
Like an event recap.
Yeah, like in a
locker room.
You're
like an NBA coach on the sideline,
right,
during a timeout. Like, what did he say to the team? You know, 4 minutes left in the fourth.
Yeah, right, exactly, like a locker room talk almost.
The difficulty, Tom, is like this is sort of a weird gray area. Like I think and I can speak to this at least from the CDL side, like we could theoretically do it. I just know that last year there was a video that came out that was sort of a like behind the scenes con with the Optic Phase series.
I remember hearing
and I think there's
this.
some frustration there about what was cleared. So it's like you almost have to cut it and then get the teams to like approve it before you could run it. So it wouldn't really happen like in real time.
Yeah, or you could just do it anyway and not really care what the teams have to say, because isn't that basically how it's done in real sports? They just record whatever.
Yeah, but they
cut out the parts.
They still cut out the parts, right?
Yeah, like just don't. Yeah, just edit it. Can't you guys edit it?
But that was the problem with the Optic thing, is they left in stuff that should obviously have been.
I don't remember this. What the heck? What did they say again? I don't even remember any of this.
You don't remember because the video doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm struggling to remember what you're talking about.
I think it's doable. I think it's worth exploring. It's just you've got to like really know. You've just got to kind of cut and get the essentials, and then even if you cut away, it may not be that interesting, and it might not be worth running.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think though it makes for great like post-event content. Like for example, I don't know if you guys watched the Minnesota Rocker video from the Major Four, but the conversation that Brian Saint and Jake Reppin had with their team when they were down 0-4, like that's so legendary team talk.
Yeah,
like that goes down in history.
For sure.
There's a lot of value.
It might just be on the team side right now in terms of content that teams are producing, because that's kind of hard to like regulate league wide also.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not easy.
I mean, I feel like they just need to have some sort. Like I've always said this. Like they need to have some sort of light that's like a live light for
Yeah,
you to
we've-
see.
Like
Like
a
the
heads
players
up.
to just see.
Dude,
Do you remember, Eric,
we died
in,
on that
like-
hill in Call of Duty.
I've been talking about that for like I feel like a decade now. Like
Dude,
I
there was-
just let the players know
we have been
when they're
talking about
mic'd
that.
up, so then we
Yeah.
can just like monitor what
like
we're
a
saying.
red light, like a red light, Eric. Just
Dude,
like a little red
I
light.
remember.
Yeah, like
I
literally
remember.
on the live. Just have like a live like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
Bro,
something to tell the
I remember an
players.
excuse that would have been distracting. That's what production told me.
Bro.
That would have been
I feel like
distracting.
You wanna know
There's-
what's
'cause there's a delay
distracting?
or
The
something.
giant spotlights that are on my face before the
Literally.
game starts. That's
Yeah,
what's distracting.
Eric,
And then right when the
100%.
game starts, they move them up. I'm like, well, I'm seeing stars going into the game. So.
Yeah.
there's
Sometimes
some
the lights
H2A
are on the
event where they
screen.
did that.
What happened,
They
Towie?
are, bro. I've had to stop games because I was like, I
Well,
can't
wait.
see.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
you-
played a
didn't you
whole
have an
map.
event with that?
Yeah, I played a
Yeah.
whole map
Bro,
where I
no,
couldn't.
I'm
Bro,
over that.
I
I'd be
played a-
yelling
I
at
remember that.
someone.
Eric, I played a whole map where I couldn't see my screen at all. They would
Let them know
go
your stat line. Let them know your stat
4
line.
and 22, Eric. 4 and 22, I went.
That's
And
the
Eric,
infamous. I got it.
Eric, if you go back and watch the map and they go onto my POV, you could tell I was shooting nowhere near the enemy. I was shooting zigzags every time they went on. And in the next 3 maps, they fixed it, and I smoked them. I just had to put that
Nice.
in.
Tell you
I-
want another stat line the next couple
Yeah,
maps.
Ben,
after
Ben,
that?
why don't you let them know what the
Right.
stat line was? Let them
It was
know.
nice little double digits in S&D.
Come on, forget about it. What else? What happened
And
after
then,
that?
What'd you get, like 30 kills? in, like,
30
game
plus
3? I don't know.
uplink, 30 plus. Because you know what it was? Adam at Pacella. So after it happened, Adam at Pacella ran onto the stage and he's like, please. I whipped out my phone. I was ready to rage tweet. He was like, don't tweet, don't post. What's the problem? I said,
You know
Adam,
he was for sure.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what?
That
You know
was
what made my
tough.
blood boils when I looked over to the referee right before the match, or as the time was clicking down for the
They
match
said
to
it was going
start.
to change, didn't they? They was
Yeah,
like, oh,
he
it's going
told-
Oh, bro, they
yeah,
lied. They lied, bro.
lied to me.
They all lied.
They
They're
fucking
just
lied to
they gotta
me.
stay on schedule. No,
They're
we gotta
paid.
start
They're
now.
paid
It'll
to
turn off.
lie, bro.
They're
They're
paid
paid
to
to lie.
lie.
I believe it.
And then when the match started, I told him, and he says, well, you leave, you forfeit, so just play it out. And I said, what? Like, what is wrong with this guy? But what are you going to do?
That's horrible.
It is what it is. But
All right.
go ahead, Pat.
Hold on, I was just gonna ask. Last thing about Halo, or not Halo. Last thing about like the rules. Why does the HCS and Halo not have a veto system in H5? I saw Hines tweet out like the predetermined map schedules for
Yeah.
every round. Let's go with that.
I don't know, man. We got 13
agree.
game types. That is so many game
That's
types to
insane.
like practice and be good at. And it's like obviously like every team has their strengths and weaknesses, but like one veto per series is not, or like one veto of a specific game type or something like is not bad. It doesn't take that much time. I feel
You
like
have 4 modes?
Towie, did we used to have that? Am I crazy? Didn't we have a veto system at one point?
We definitely had vetoes.
We for
Didn't
sure
we?
had
I'm
vetoes. I
like-
don't know what. I don't remember when
Dude,
it
I
was.
must be
Was
faded.
it
I'm like 90% sure we had vetoes.
How many game modes do you have? 4?
flag,
Yeah.
ball, stronghold, slayer? Yeah.
Yeah. So in AW we had 4 as well. AW and BO3. It was the 2 years we had 4 modes.
Yeah.
And vetoes worked perfectly fine. Like there was no issue at all.
I like a
God.
veto system. I feel like if it just I don't know.
Another-
I
It
mean,
another
adds
strategy
more
element.
strategy. Yeah, it adds more strategy to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure we always had vetoes at MLG, just because there's that penance game in Halo Reach that they tried to veto. Do you remember that, Eric?
yeah, I
It was
do.
like, yeah, they thought that because the game type was so horrible, they thought that we wouldn't play it, so they tried to veto something else, being like Snakebites team, and TJ, I think, but we
You
played it
the horrible
anyways. I
map?
don't know. Yeah, it was literally the worst map in like ever.
Yeah.
Game ended like
Interesting.
26-15.
Yeah, no, that surprised me when I saw Hines' tweet. I was just like, why are y'all still on predetermined sets?
I don't know what the reasoning for that is. I don't think they've ever said anything like publicly about why. I know they said why they don't do it in
Yeah.
like the matchmaking system because I know Halo Reach had a veto system and it was literally sanctuary every single game. People just want to snipe.
Yeah.
So like I understand why you don't have that in the ranked system because if you're gonna have competitive games and maps, like you want all of those to be played. But for the professionals, I don't know. You
know what I would like? I would like to see no vetoes in like your guys' cups, but then vetoes at the actual tournament. So the cups force everybody to play every map in mode, practice, whatever. And then you come to the actual tournaments and you have vetoes.
That would definitely add an
be
extra
the
layer of
dynamic.
team like thought process going into it. Like each team has specific game types they're good at. It's like, all right, I don't want to play them in that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Pat. I like that.
You like
No
that?
layer prep
I
for your
like
group
that,
stage,
Pat.
Like there's
know me.
ways you can do it.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, that's a good idea. Just because it adds a different element, you get to see everybody. You can almost get like film on like all the teams, and then you just kind of make your
Yeah.
decisions, right? You do your research,
And you practice, right? Like you avoid the fact where like, do you remember in World War II, some teams would have auto veto, so you'd be screaming and
can't
that
have
map
auto
would come up,
vetoes.
and they would
Yeah.
leave the lobby. They'd be like, "Oh, we don't play that. We're leaving. Like we're
Yeah,
done. GG."
yeah.
Like what?
London Ducks.
remember.
Yeah, that's why. Bro, I am a world champion right now in World War II because TK auto vetoed London across all 3 modes. Thank you, TK. Appreciate it. I love
Do
you
you
for
remember?
that.
Do you remember the
Love
like
you for
boot camp
that.
we had like 3 weeks leading up to that champs where I kept telling you you won't can't win a tournament with auto vetoes. You can't have
you
auto
can't.
vetoes.
You
cannot.
can't. Period.
Man, fuck
Unless
you,
unless
Pat.
you're phased and it's Gavitu. That's the only one that matters. Is phased and Gavitu. No one else can have an auto veto.
Yeah, that map sucks. I don't like Gavitu for any teams. I just don't like watching that map.
Does Vanguard have 3 modes yet? That was an issue,
Yeah.
right?
They got 2.5.
I think Control could definitely use some tweaks. Definitely spawns offensive is really hard in a couple of maps. I think they probably should.
Well, there only are a couple of maps in Control. There's only 2
In the whole
maps.
game.
There's only 2 maps in Control.
There's 4 maps
hard
total, I
point.
think,
Oh,
right
wow.
now. No, 4 total maps that are being used.
Yeah, 4
across
total
all
maps
3
being
modes.
used. Yeah.
No, it's more, is it not?
Oh, it's
Tuscan-
5 if you count Desert
5,
Siege and
yeah,
S&D.
Desert
But
Siege.
you can't count that. It's just a search. So
Yeah,
there's 4 maps being used in respawn and search.
Demiance could stay in.
Dimyance is horrible.
Well, they're adding new
Dimyance
maps.
is the
You see that? Did you guys see that? They're adding new maps in this update.
yeah. I've seen that before too.
Which does Halo do that? Is Halo gonna have like any DLCs or packs or anything?
I hope so.
I think so.
That'd be sick.
We haven't really been told
Bro.
yet. I mean, I think they have to. It's been something that Halo's always done.
Bro,
you
it's
know?
Forge, man. The
Yeah, we need
community made
Forge.
maps were godlike.
Yeah, the Forge
They
mode
were,
is sick.
and the like
Never
mini
missed
games
the Forge.
and fun games you'd play from Forge.
Oh, bro, I spent so many hours playing what was it? Those
Staple
like
of Halo.
those like obstacle courses on Halo Reach.
Oh,
Forge.
yeah,
Even
and
Halo
Halo
3,
3.
bro. Yeah, dude, I spent
Dude,
hours.
Halo needs
Dark
Forge
Cloud or
so
whatever.
bad. I literally tweeted that
I
like a day ago. I think I tweeted that yesterday. I was like, Halo needs Forge so bad to like actually have content for people who aren't Halo players to come and want to play the game.
Yeah.
Like those
Absolutely.
racetrack games, bro. I will be hosting like 16-man like racetrack lobbies.
For
See
sure.
who the best like mongoose driver is.
That's awesome.
And,
That's
like,
awesome.
Prop hunt, duck hunt, like zombies. Like, dude, we're so
Oh,
many
Reach was godlike because it had like
options.
that database that you could like go and find whatever
Yeah,
you wanted to
yeah.
play. That was sick.
Yeah.
Wasn't there
Yeah,
something?
but,
Halo 5 had
We had all these
God-
we had like a perfect ranking system with like Peter and Forge.
You had it
like,
all.
12 years ago, 15 years ago in Halo.
That's actually crazy to think about is how
Yeah.
ahead Halo was for so long back in the day, and then just
Yeah.
Fell off.
anyway.
And then they're back.
Fumbled the bag.
You guys got
Anti-cheat.
Anaheim this weekend.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
you guys feeling? You feeling good?
Dude, to be honest, I mean, yeah, we're feeling really good. I've never played at a live event with no fans. Like, I don't know what to expect.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
it's gotta
I
be the
forgot.
weirdest
Wait, there's no fans?
situation, Like,
They didn't.
'Cause
They're
of
not bringing
COVID,
fans?
yeah.
no entry for.
Oh,
Does it
non-competitive.
count in like
shit.
2013 when we would play with almost no fans?
Yeah, right. No, but I'm so like,
Oh, dude,
yeah,
it's
right when I'm
weird.
playing Halo 4 in like a
Yeah.
studio.
Eric,
So
I'm
is
gonna
that-
tell you, it's weird, bro. It's
Dude,
weird.
I know it's gonna be weird. I feel like am I just gonna be yelling across the stage? Just
Yeah,
literally just
you
in people's
hear.
ear?
Yeah, you
Bro,
hear
it was
everything.
it's comedy like in Columbus when the teams will play and you just hear like you hear the team screaming and then like Pierce is in the back like warming up and they're just getting
Yeah, we would
hyped,
hear
like,
people in the background and shit.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be pumping that white noise. Just be careful, bro. They pump that white noise into your headset. Sometimes you gotta
I
say
hate that.
something
I hate
because
that so
sometimes
much.
they overdo it. Sometimes, Eric. Sometimes you gotta say,
Oh,
"Hey,
it's
buddy."
the worst.
Right, Towie? Isn't it so bad? Sometimes they pump it
It's
up
so
so much where you can't even hear your game. All you hear is white
They would
noise.
Dude.
pump mine more because I don't have game sound right, so mine would always be like dialed up to 20.
Yeah, that's that's insane. Isn't it crazy how there's so many little things on land, like the lights, the sound, like there's
Dude,
so many different things.
factors.
Like I remember back in
That's
COD.
why we used to say the rookies got nervous, bro, because you had to deal with so much when you
Yeah.
first go to land.
Yeah,
It's an adjustment.
It
Dude,
is
just,
an
like, you have
adjustment.
bathroom breaks where they're like, you just all of a sudden got to go, and they're like, nah, you can't. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm
nope.
going. Like, what do you mean? Broadcast takes like 10 minutes every time anyway.
Oh
Bro,
yeah.
they'll never forfeit you, bro. They'll never forfeit you taking a piss. This is a
I know.
PSA to any player, any up and coming
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
If a ref tells you that you will forfeit if you go take a piss, it's a lie.
It's a
Go
lie.
take your fucking
Yeah,
piss.
it's a lie.
You'll piss off production.
Listen,
Ben, I'm sorry,
you're gonna
but
piss
go
me
take a
off
piss.
'cause I'm
All
trying
right,
to
hold on.
keep on the
I got a
schedule.
question. I got an important question. If you guys, all right, let's say you, because they told us at the last tournament that breaks are between after game 2 and after game 4. If you want to
Yeah.
pick
Yeah.
one, you go after those. So
Right.
let's say like you're down 0-2 in the series and you bring back, You bring it back to 2-2. Is it stupid to go take a bathroom break with all that momentum right before going into game 5?
That's a good question.
Nah, I'm going to take a shit, a long one too, and I'm gonna let the other team marinate on the fact that they're on the verge of a reverse sweep. They're collapsing. The longer they're collapsing mentally, the better for me, bro. I'm just sitting there. I'm doing a slow wipe. I'm doing a long hand wash. I'm taking my sweet time. I'm walking back, climbing up on the stage, just staring at him like, I took my time, didn't I? Yeah, y'all been sitting there arguing for 10 minutes.
Wait,
yep,
but Eric, what are you, superstitious? You're like, we sat here, we're fine now. If we get up, we're gonna lose our momentum. Like, is that what it is?
No, well, not like that. No, I mean, but after the last tournament, like we went to game 5. We won game 4, and we were going to game 5, and like I had to get up and go to the bathroom, and then we ended up losing the game, and I was like, man, like. I just started thinking about it. I was like, would it have been better to carry the momentum? Because we dominated game 4, like hard dominated, and they were just going to start right up into game 5. But I was like holding it for like 3 games. It was like, all right, I'm just going to go. Like, we can just like come back and get right into it. And I'm just thinking, like, man, would it have been better to carry that momentum and like just like keep driving it with that? Like, because like even on our side, we can do anything we want. We're better, like this. And then you take that 5 minutes to just like cool down, and then you come back and it's like a full reset. It feels like just like mentally a reset.
It's like the cooldown plus having like such confidence in that game type, but then losing the momentum in the same time. Because we definitely were really good at that game type. We liked that game 5 game type.
I was also better.
I don't know if that's
too, but...
Yeah, but if that's happened to you guys in COD, like I think that happened to us in Champs, Pat, when we were up 2-0, took a break, and we got reverse swept in the finals, had to go back. Up 2-0 and then won 3-0 in the second set. But like, if you guys if you have a game type that you really like, and then you lose the momentum going into it.
The thing is, like for us in Call of Duty, Search, I know you guys have Slayer, but I feel like the momentum's a little bit different in S&D. Because I've definitely been on teams where I noticed like we do, Eric, take that momentum into game 5 right away, and it could bite us in the ass because we'll play too aggressive.
Yeah, no, for sure. Search
whatever.
is definitely a lot different than Slayer. Like Slayer, you get off to you 4-0 your opponent twice in a row, and you're running with that the rest of the game. Like S&D, I've seen crazy comebacks. Like it's around you, like full reset, and it's like, all right, next.
Yeah.
Pretty.
But it also goes the other way, right? Like if you have a type map 1, and then one of the teams really falters in S&D, and now you're up 2-0. Like the other team's basically just on tilt at that point. Yeah.
I also feel like in respawn game mode, you can take momentum and roll with it, right? But in S&D, right? Every time you have a pause after a round, teams can adapt. They have a chance to talk. They have a few moments to kind of regroup and figure out what the hell is going on, So
3 to 4 is kind of like how we feel about that. Like if I just win a game 3 and I'm going into game 4 hardpoint, I'm like, your refs start it, bro. They're ready. Trust. Like, let's go. Because that momentum actually carries over.
That's easily the biggest difference in Halo and COD is just pacing, right? Because Halo, regardless of the game type, very rarely does it slow down like that. It's always reactive. It's always pushing forward, pushing your advantages.
Yeah. I feel like Halo, it's hard to have individual play. I feel like it's a lot. I mean, people can obviously individually pop off, but I'm saying in order to do that, you need to work with your teammates. Where in COD, somebody can just kind of go rogue and just fucking pop a 7-piece out of nowhere, just like by himself in the corner of the map somewhere, Which is kind of why I like Halo in that aspect, that you're forced to play together. Or else you're gonna get
power position.
Yeah, you're gonna get punished. Like in COD, you can get away with shit. Where in Halo, you get punished for it if you're doing stupid shit.
If you're just going rogue, going solo, you're definitely.
Bro, Halo is just punished. I feel like Halo is just one of the most complete games in terms of like all the different types of skills you have to have in this pot. Like COD, I feel like if you're just an individual stud, you can just dominate.
Pop
you
off.
can make bad plays and just
if you shoot straight enough, you can win.
Crazy.
It also depends on the game. Some games are better than worse.
Yeah.
No, that's true, because other Halos are different. In other Halos, you could have somebody like there were plenty of times in older Halos where Eric could completely take over a map and win us a game, and that very rarely happens now. In Halo Infinite.
Dan's talking about it too. Yeah, I mean, so that's what Dan was saying. Looney's saying in the chat, the time to kill too. And Looney also has a good question in the chat too. Dude, what about washing hands? Say you're going into a 5th map, you get a break. Do you guys wash your hands or what?
I don't care.
I'm washing my hands. I'm washing my hands,
bro. And this goes out to everybody that's competing in anything, bro. Wash your fucking hands.
Always.
I don't care.
Always.
I don't care if you're superstitious. I don't care if the water's cold. I don't give a fuck. Wash your hands, bro.
Other people are playing on that station. The refs are touching it. Come on, man. Like, you gotta.
Wearing headphones.
We have a serious hygiene problem at events, period, across any esports event.
That's pretty
All right,
arrogant.
wash your fucking hands.
Yeah,
Period.
but
anyway.
wait, you said cold water though. Hot water is superior though, Pat. It's
No, but I'm
superior.
saying if you
You
only
need the
have
hot
cold
water.
water, I'm saying if there's only cold water, still wash your fucking hands, bro.
Yeah, dude,
Even
I don't
if you
know
have
what
to
it
sit
is.
under the dryer,
The
bro.
controller feels way better after you wash your hands. That's a fact. It feels way
Bro, hold
better.
on. I got a
hands.
funny story. I don't remember when this was, but I walked in on Ogre 2, and he was just sitting under the sink with hot water running for probably like 5 minutes. And he looks at me. I don't remember how old I was or when this was, but he looked at me and goes, "You'll understand one day." And I was like, "What?"
I think I've heard the story.
Wait,
so
that's
good.
actually funny because do you remember the studios in Columbus? Bro, I used to sit at those sinks for like 5 minutes doing the same shit. I'd soak my wrist because it would loosen
for
up my
sure.
wrist. Like it would help out my wrist. So I just sit there and just soak in. People would just be walking in and out, just staring at me. But I wasn't the only one. Hella people were waiting in line to soak their hands in hot water. Everybody was doing
Yeah,
that.
but then you go back on stage and you see Krim just fucking trying to
Shaking his
throw his
shit.
hand off his arm. Yeah.
No, you had
Yeah.
to try and finesse a bathroom that was in the office is really nice. But, you know, occasionally
Yeah,
yell at
yeah.
people
You
out
rarely
there.
see Spence kicked
yeah.
me out of that bathroom like 5 times. No bullshit. Well, going into Anaheim, do you guys know who you're playing yet? You guys know who your first match is?
We did get the pools.
We have I know our pool is us, Space Station, Fnatic, and I don't remember the fourth, to be honest with you. But
So a 3-0.
it's a good pool. Like I'm actually
3-0.
I don't know. Like I would rather have a good competitive pool than like a breeze pool, because you get into that
Yeah,
tournament
fact.
mindset of like,
Yeah.
I need to like come out hot. Like none of these teams I can take lightly, and then you just
Let's
carry that
build
momentum.
momentum
Like,
off of our successes. You know,
Yeah.
You want
I
to be
don't like
tested in
having
pool
a
play,
pool.
but come out on top. You want to be tested
Right.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The pool
yeah,
was
for sure.
interesting.
What
I saw
Go
that I saw
ahead.
that Cloud9 Sentinels got drawn in the same pool. I know
Yeah.
C and D are also interesting. Alpine G2 and Kohler in one pool, and then United's polls they've got a.
What is it? Top 2 get out? Is that what it is? Top 2 are out?
I think everyone gets out, but top two are winners bracket.
bottom
If
two
you get
loser.
first in your pool, you play a 2 seed, or you play like a number 2 of a pool.
Okay.
and
It's how
so on and so
COD used
forth.
to be, Tom.
Yeah.
It's the same.
I'm pretty
No,
sure it's
it's a-
how
it's a
CWL
little
was.
bit-
Well,
It's a little bit different.
COD always changed it though. COD always one time COD had it where top 2's out, other people are going home. One it was like one
Top
team
two-
goes home, one goes to
Top
losers.
2 always went to winners. Top 2 always goes to
Don't you
winners.
guys
Always,
in
yeah.
Halo? You have a bye, right? So if you get one, you get actually in a round winners round 2, right? That's at least how
I believe you start
Raleigh
winners round
works.
2. I think you start
Yeah.
if you get first in your pool. I'm pretty sure you're top 12. I'm pretty sure you're like instantly
think-
top 12.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
think that's
interesting.
right.
So they do one less in bracket then.
'Cause they
Well, we already
had
had the
'cause they-
open bracket. The open was already online, right? So the
Oh,
open filled in
true,
the
I
4th
forgot.
seed in the pools,
Yeah,
and
that makes
CWL was the 5th seed in the pools.
Gotcha.
Hey, listen, man, it's gonna be a crazy event. I wish you guys the best of luck, man. Honestly, I'm really excited. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in
Oh,
and,
for
and
sure.
supporting
Hell
the
yeah.
guys. And you guys know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for you, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Quick
ahead,
quick
Pat.
question. I did see the United. Is
Oh yeah,
is
it's
that
exciting.
yeah? Are they picking up
Yeah.
formal and
So-
losing a player? What's happening?
I don't know I don't know what's going on. I don't know if someone has COVID, because we all have to take the PCR test to get into the venue, and I don't know if someone's like it came back positive and he's just going to replace them for the event, or what's going on there. But I saw him practicing with them, and
How many
I'm
teams
happy
has
for
he been
Matt,
on
man.
so far?
he was on.
He's
I
He's
mean,
been
I'm-
everywhere, bro.
He's all over the place.
I
Pat,
was
he's like-
kind of all
he-
over the
he-
place too. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
I
too,
thought he,
Eric. You too.
Pat, I thought he speed ran teams and ghosts. He might be doing that. even
Dude,
during
he's
Halo.
he's at a stronger pace right now for sure.
It's probably fun for him though. I feel like it might be probably fun. He retired from
I'm gonna
COD,
call
he
it now.
chilled
It's
No.
definitely
out.
fun.
I'm
It's
gonna
definitely
call
fun.
it now. I'm gonna call it now. Before your guys' last event, he'll be on Optic.
Yeah.
You think so?
You
Yeah.
think so?
I don't know
I think
who
the
for,
number
but yeah.
one. I think the number one thing that's going to be interesting is apparently COD ends before
Yeah,
Halo
we
World
talked
Champs,
about
and
this.
Shotzzy wants to play. So he's on Optic.
Oh.
He's on
That's
that Optic roster as
interesting
well.
part.
Whoa.
Wait,
Wait,
hold
I
on.
forgot.
Hypothetically, is he that good? Right? Is he that good
Yes.
at Halo
Yes,
that
yes, he is.
after a whole year of not playing it at all, let's just assume he doesn't play. He's obviously going to play in his free time. Playing COD, that
Yep.
he would be picked up on like a top 3 team instantly.
Instantly, yeah, no question.
Wow.
I don't know about instantly, but
Wow.
I definitely
He's gonna
think
go
it
to
would be
Optic.
considered for sure.
I don't know about
Like,
instantly
the
either. That's
fact-
an exaggeration.
the
But
thing
I
is,
mean,
You've got
it's going to be hard to,
he's on
Hard to turn
Optic,
down,
so
yeah.
like Optic, like I'm not if I don't know how this works, but like if I'm Hex, Hastro, whatever, and Shotzzy wants to play, like I'm almost not letting him play on another team to compete against my current Halo team unless he's
Yeah,
on the
that's-
Optic roster himself. Like
For sure,
how do you
for sure the
how do you
issue.
tell a player like we don't want you to compete against our team. Like,
Listen,
how does,
Eric.
like, you know, like what kind of
Listen. I would hold on. I would fully agree with you, except Stro looked me in my face and said, "Listen, I'm sending Kyler to Splice on loan for Black Ops 4 Championship, and I don't know who I'm gonna get you yet, but I'll look around." So I would agree with you, other than that situation.
There's definitely a world where he plays on a team besides Optic. I think. I mean,
I don't know.
It comes down to like the operating agreement that they have in their contracts, and
well, here's the
they're
thing,
gonna be
Eric,
right by the
because
players that they represent.
This is
so.
like a possible
Maybe.
$5
Yeah.
million tournament. Like he's not gonna want
Right.
to, you know, like I think it's different than if it was like a normal LAN at like the Rally, for example. I'd be like, yeah, go play wherever you want. I don't care. But when it's like the big one and you want to give your team like that you are all invested in the best shot, like I don't want to send a really good player to another team to compete against them.
Well, how does the qualification work for could Shotzzy and Formal make a team, find two, and compete
Probably
as like
not.
Optic
Probably
Nation?
it'd be way
Nation.
too late in the year for that because I think it's like cumulative point based throughout the year.
So Formal would
There's a
have to
limit of
like
point decay,
Formal
though,
would have
right?
to fry, right? To like
Formal going
get
to this
enough
tournament
points?
and playing with United is
It's actually a
actually
really
huge
big for him for the
It's
year,
really
for
big
sure.
for him. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so
For
the,
sure.
the point system is really weird, right? There's like almost like a point decay throughout the season. Like it's not like a cumulative total, right?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't- I
So
think
that
yeah,
happened, but I'm not.
I know more.
Yeah, I looked it all up. So we had the point decay because of the preseason tournament. They did a decay for Raleigh because it was technically right after the game like came out unannounced or whatever. So the decay is for like last calendar year. I'm not certain that everything this calendar year will have the same effect.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Well, listen, man, I wish you guys the best of luck moving forward. Any other questions, Pat, Ben, you got for these two legends before we close it out? Anything else? I see there's like a... Well, I see something. We have something written down here. Cheating, anti-cheat. Does Halo have an anti-cheat? Is cheating like a thing?
Oh
in Halo?
yeah, no. I wrote that down because I was gonna ask, like, because I did see that it was obviously a hot topic for the amateur teams. Kind of, what's your guys' take on that? Have you scrimmed a ton of non-pro teams, kind of like the top would-be amateurs?
No,
and
Not necessarily. It's kind of like negligent practice at that point almost.
I feel like it's just not good practice. Like I don't want to build bad habits
That's the point.
Getting away with stuff, like because it's too easy to get away with stuff in Halo. Like when you're like a really really good team, because you just have that natural teamwork and you're able to run around wherever because you can just like live milk your life. But
do you think
no.
do you think there's a decent amount of cheaters in the amateur scene, or none? Or
There's got to be some in there. There's got to be.
What's your kind of opinion on that? Because I did see, like, I forgot who the teams were, obviously.
All the tweets about the
Pioneers, I think.
Yeah.
No, not what. It was one of those teams. That it was like going to be an investigation by HGS, and he tweeted he didn't cheat or whatever. But then the tournament organizer.
Yeah, like when that stuff got tweeted out with those clips.
BBG, sorry.
It was BBG, I think. Yeah.
Bro, to be honest, that whole situation is bullshit. If I'm
bullshit, I think.
the guy who got accused, and there was never any definitive proof besides a couple random things that like you find in a game. Like you watch any game and you think someone is cheating, and they're just like randomly looking at a wall and someone's on the other side of the wall. It could be coincidence. Like who knows where these
You know how many
guys are
times
at?
in Halo you pre-look at where you think spawns are going to be? Like if you turn outlines on, maybe outlines are back there. I don't know. It's
I probably look like I'm walling sometimes, and it's like unless you're like pre-nating like corners and like doing like really really ridiculous things. Like I think you should be punished for like shaming someone if they're not actually cheating.
Oh,
like, there's no
like false accusation.
There's no way around that. Like you can't like trash someone's integrity or like without having proof. So
because it's crazy how much a simple tweet could go a long way with somebody's reputation.
It goes a long way, man.
Right.
Yeah, like, I mean, they got kicked from the tournament. Like apparently the tournament that they got accused of him cheating, they were unable to play in the following week's tournament because of that. And it's like, well, this was never conclusive.
Yeah, and that was just the tournament. Like,
why would they be banned?
Covering their ass, right? Like, they hated the negative perception.
At that point, you can like have a case for defamation because of like, I mean, I don't know how deep like it would ever get in that situation, but like if someone did this to me and like called me out, like I would be like, no, like I'm coming after you. There's no way I'm letting you smash my integrity like that and my reputation based off of false evidence. And then if you actually get punished for it without it ever coming to like fruition, like I'd be furious.
I feel like people are just paranoid now. People are really paranoid.
For sure.
You know?
For sure they are.
Any little thing.
Well, that called circles it all the way
right?
back to us really needing an anti-cheat. I mean, there's got to be something. We have nothing, and so it's just
rank's bad. Rank's bad. I stopped playing it after I got double Onyx, did my thing. But after I would go to theater and it was just like this is so obvious. But yeah, that is what pissed me off. So I was hoping that was coming sooner than later. But
yeah. Well, listen,
But
man,
yeah,
before we close it out, Towie, Eric, you guys got anything to say to the FaZe fans, all the fans and supporters watching back at home? Anything you want to say before you go into Anaheim?
Yeah, it's time to run it up this weekend, baby. You're gonna phase up the whole time.
Yeah.
Definitely excited to get to another land. Hopefully, bringing this one home. I feel very confident. Definitely feel like our team has the most room for improvement, and I feel like we have improved a bunch. So, yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for these conversations. It's fun to get to let a lot of people who might not have these type of questions or be able to ask these questions to get some answers. And
Yeah.
hope everyone enjoyed it.
No,
Yeah,
thank
we'll
you
have to
for
do another
coming on.
follow-up.
Yeah,
We
we'll
just
do a
love hanging out
follow-up
with
for
you
sure.
guys.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, me too. I just kick it and just talk about whatever. You know, it's fun. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it, Towie and Eric. Thank you guys so much for coming on. You guys are the goats, man. This was an awesome episode. So shout out to you guys, man. Let's do it again. Let's run it up again. We'll be rooting for you. I'm gonna be rooting for you guys without a doubt. I'll be watching. I'll be cheering you on. We're gonna be watch partying it. So that'll be a lot of fun. Ben, you wanna put us out? You wanna put us out, Ben?
Am I hitting a putt on the show?
Yeah, hit a putt. Let's see if you can hit a putt for us real quick. Come on,
I've
putt.
been on a hot streak
Come
recently.
on.
Yo, Tom,
Yeah,
you'll be on
has.
Twitch, by the way. You can do a full
Yeah,
screen
no,
watch
I do.
party.
I've done before. I've been doing the Halo watch parties for the
You
events.
don't gotta
Get
do
dropped, Tom,
you
you
don't
get
gotta do the
drops.
crazy cover up.
What happened? Yeah, no,
get-
I'm
you get
gonna.
drop- the
Yeah,
drops
so
and all
so
that?
last time my drops messed up, but yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
FaZe
okay.
FaZe is gonna help me out with some drops. That'll be really
That's
cool.
big.
Yeah,
We
that
gotta
is
get that.
big. We'll get some drops in, and we'll be watching the games. Oh, Ben's dropping the ball. He's all over the
fumble,
place. He's
fumble.
Listen, I'm
fumbling
calling a
it.
wide. I'm calling a wide left. Wide left.
Oh, he's got socks on today. He might be screwed.
It's not
Oh
going in. It's not going
no! Stepping up
Wide
to the
left.
green. Ben Genesene's lining up. You're going wide left. I'm going wide right. I think he's
in.
shafting it.
Definitely a miss. Definitely a miss.
He's definitely a miss. Oh,
Oh!
he shut us up, Pat. No way, Ben. Dude, Ben, you're on a hot streak. He hasn't missed a putt. We got to make it harder for him. This is getting too easy for him now. Ben, is this too easy for you now, Ben? This is way too easy. We got to change this up now.
Well, no, see, I was absolutely lost in the sauce when we went on that golf trip. Ray gave
True.
me a few tips.
You using the new clubs? You using the new stuff?
Yeah, new clubs, but like I
Oh,
changed
man.
my putting routine because Ray pointed out a bunch of things. He's like, that I was doing absolutely wrong, and I'm like, obviously I'll listen to Rambo. Like, he knows what he's
Towie,
talking
Eric,
about.
you guys golfing at all? You guys golfers or no? Everybody golfs these days.
God,
I
no.
need to golf more. I love it. I do
You,
love it.
you love it? I think people are
I
trying to
need
get
it.
me into it. I gotta see what I can do. But listen, guys, thank you
just
so
fun
much,
to be out
man.
there.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. You can chill out, drink a brewski, hang the fuck out. But listen, guys, thank you so much, man. Thank you guys for coming on. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm/theflank. Check out all the audio sites that are on, and go to @theflank on Twitter. Go follow Gert's doing a fantastic job running socials. Shout out to Snipe Down. Shout out to Towie once again. Love y'all, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank. Take care, bye.
Good day.